Yo, Sanjo Uchiha here, people, and I'm bringing you another segment of Boruto Naruto Next Generation episode reviews. Alright, so considering I didn't review last week's episode, I'll be reviewing episodes 25 and 26 in one, as the title of this video already implied anyway. So, and especially since the plot of episode 25 essentially continues on into episode 26. So there's that. So as usual, rate, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a Dragon Ball or Boruto based video. So getting into it, my impressions of these episodes, they're pretty good. I actually enjoyed watching them, despite the fact they're pretty self-contained, and it doesn't really, I'd say, progress the overarching plot of the entire series really and truly. It kind of feels like this self-contained slice of life mini arc, honestly speaking. But let's get into each individual episode and break this down, essentially why these episodes, despite that fact, why they actually perform so well, for me at least. So episode 25, we start with seeing Naruto at the academy proposing essentially the plot of this little mini arc that we're having here, in which he wants the academy to start taking field trips outside of the Land of Fire, essentially, specifically to the Mist Village for these episodes. So there was that, and it was pretty cool seeing Naruto there interacting with Iruka. Naruto being Naruto as usual, despite being the Hokage, he still looks up to these people in his life that were, I guess, instrumental in putting him where he was. So that was pretty cool from a characterization standpoint. And of course, we had Boruto there listening in, pulling pranks on Iruka. But going forward in the episode, we quickly get into Boruto and the rest of the class packing and making their way to the land, the Mist Village, essentially, by train and boat. And this is part of the reason why I found the episodes to be essentially entertaining, and it's that we get to see the rest of the shinobi world again. It's like, it feels like, you would have world building, but like re-world building, because we already saw the Mist Village essentially back in original Naruto, but it's really refreshing to see it's really refreshing to see us being exposed to a lot of the shinobi world again, especially post the Fourth Great Ninja War, and seeing how it's developed. And essentially, it's pretty cool. It's pretty refreshing to see them taking the train, taking a yacht, a boat, and I mean, this was a little like comedy segment between the academy characters. Essentially, them playing games, chilling on the ship, and apparently Boruto's been selected as the field trip leader, so there's that. But it really gets interesting once they actually reach the Mist Village, and we see that it's even more modern than the Leaf Village, and that was pretty cool to see, honestly speaking. So there was that, and it's here that we're introduced to this character named Kagura. Now, if any of you guys are familiar with original Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, you would probably instantly be hit with the fact that he resembles Yagura, the fourth Mizukage, and based on the last name, they are related. So it hasn't been confirmed in these episodes if they're father and son, even though I'm going to speculate that they are, for the sake of the plots, and to make things more interesting, or at least part of the same clan. So there was that. He definitely looks like Yagura. Like, it's a no-brainer there. And we get to see the characters interact and essentially explore the Mist Village at this point, seeing how it's developed. And we get multiple characters throughout the two episodes stating how the current Mizukage essentially helped to develop the village throughout the post the Fourth Great Ninja War. And that was pretty cool to see. But the only thing I didn't like about the two episodes, and it's a minor nitpick, and it's probably a detail they forgot to mention. They could mention at the end of this little mini arc, in that they do mention that they're a central hub for like business and all of that. But I'm pretty sure that the Great Naruto Bridge probably was a contributing factor for that over the years. And even though they highlight its really post Fourth Great Ninja War that things really got developed, I'm pretty sure that bridge contributed to a lot. And considering that the throughout the two episodes, people are really recognizing Boruto as a son of Naruto, essentially, obviously. But you'd think they'd mention that bridge. But I'm kind of expecting them to mention it at some point throughout this little mini arc. But that's a minor nitpick. I hope they do mention it for the sake of continuity. And I guess it would be a cool throwback and see how Boruto would react, because a central theme throughout these episodes is that it's being highlighted that a lot of people recognize Naruto, but Boruto himself still doesn't see how cool Naruto is. Of course, he's not really gonna see that until the Boruto Naruto the movie anime adaptation. So I guess whatever. I'm kind of rambling on here, but continuing on. So we get to see Boruto, Mitsuki, the class essentially going through the Mist Village, and it's the contrast between what's there now and what we saw before back in original Naruto. It's pretty cool. It's entertaining to see, and emphasis is placed on the fact that, hey, we have this history of being the Blood Mist Village back in the day, but we've moved past that now. So some development there in the world itself is pretty cool. But the thing is, what I definitely liked is that it highlights the fact that they've moved past that. There are some remaining elements within the village that they're still kind of clinging to the past. And we see Boruto and Iwabe encounter some of these elements in the form of a few shinobi that they're not too comfy with outsiders, and they seem to be clinging to the old ideology of the blood mist, quote unquote, where for the upcoming shinobi to actually become Genin, they had to kill each other. And at one point in episode 26, it was basically pointed out that it was implied that Yagura was a key promoter of that, but we know what really went on behind the scenes with Obito and essentially under the guise of Madara controlling him. Granted, we don't know much about Yagura's character, the fourth Mizukage, so whatever. But it is what it is. So yeah, and throughout the episodes, early on we see Iwabe, he's uncomfortable with going to the Mist Village, and I found that to be very interesting. Of course, we eventually find out why, because we found out the fourth Mizukage actually killed his grandfather. So I like that, even though it's a pretty chill set of episodes, slice of life, but we have some tension added in there, and I definitely like that. And it's cool to see how the characters react to this. It kind of feels like if you took a section out of the old system of the shinobi world and just a small portion, a small sample of the conflict that used to go down, and essentially put that towards Boruto and friends and see how they react. So even though they didn't react, they kind of took it chill, and they didn't react in the way I thought they would, but it was still cool to see. And another cool tidbit is that we find out that Kagura, he's actually a Chunin. He's set up to be one of the successors to the 7 Mist Swordsmen. So that was cool. But yeah, Kagura already being set up to be a cool character. He seems to be having some internal conflict because the current Mizukage, Chojuro, wants him to essentially succeed him, I would assume. But he has some internal conflict that's yet to be explored, which I'm looking forward to in episode 27. All in all, we do have a small scuffle in episode 26. I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth here, but just forgive me. The plot is essentially, it continues, it just flows between the two episodes essentially, so sorry about that. But yeah, in episode 26 we get some small scuffles with some abandoned shinobi there, who seems to be working for the two guys that we saw in episode 25 that Iwabe and all these guys, Iwabe and Boruto bumped into. Well, according to Iwabe, they bumped into Boruto. There was that. And I must commend Boruto for showing guts, honestly, as they mentioned in the episode. That was pretty cool. He didn't back down, I like that. It's already within his character, so yeah, it was on point. But all in all, I think episodes 25 and 26 are definitely a good watch to be reintroduced. It's a world building episode. They're world building episodes essentially. And even though I wouldn't say they're the greatest episodes ever, like within the franchise, but within this little Boruto series here so far, they help to really contribute this certain charm, especially if you're coming from the original series. Seeing the contrast between where the Mist Village was before and where it is now, it that alone really helps to set the tone and the ratings for this episode, which I'll rate as it's a pretty strong 7.5 out of 10 for me personally. It's and you can really take the concept of this episode and you can like realistically like extend it to the other villages of the world in terms of their development. So like you'd have character development. It's like, yeah, world building. It's pretty cool to see. All in all, episodes 25 and 26, decent additions to the Boruto series. And yeah, so there's that. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we did get a sparring match between Boruto and Kagura, which was obviously going to be in Kagura's favor. I mean, Boruto hasn't even graduated the academy yet, and despite the fact, even though I do suspect he trains with Naruto from time to time, Kagura is a Chunin, and I mean, he's set up to be a successor to the 7 swordsmen of the mist, so there was no way Boruto was going to last long in that. So I didn't have any problems with any power scaling issues in this episode. So there was that. But, I mean, all in all, towards the end of 26, we see that Denki is kidnapped by the group of Miss Ninja. And the leader, obviously, they showed him as a silhouette towards the end. It's obviously the guy that Boruto bumped, Boruto bumped into in episode 25. So yeah, if there's anything I missed, let me know. Let me know what you thought about the episodes. I thought they were good. I'm looking forward to 27, but more so what comes beyond this little mini arc. And I would assume this little mini arc of ours is just gonna last for episode 27 and then finally conclude in 28. I don't see this going on very long. I'm going to go on and speculate that they're just really buying their time with this little mini arc to prepare for the Boruto Naruto the movie re-adaptation or anime adaptation. So there's that. So Sanjay Uchiha, let me know what you think. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.